All right, everybody, welcome into another episode of Keeping Up with Oxford Athletics. We're here with head coach, Coach Bennett. And Coach, you just captured the area championship last night. That had to be very satisfying for you to know that now you'll turn around and host the sub-regional, which is most important for your ultimate goal, which is to get to regionals. But
correct.
Not putting a cart in front of the horse, but it's here now. You are going to host and you are a champion. So that's a positive. Just take us back to the game last night and how it all transpired.
We had set ourselves up. We won the area regular season, so we got to host the area championship. But we had split with Shades Valley in the regular season, so we knew they had confidence coming in because they had beat us at home. So we knew we had to really take care of business. I was very proud of our resiliency because we did not have the best shooting night. We struggled from the perimeter a little bit, but defensively I thought we played exceptionally well. I thought our kids were really locked in on our game plan. They have two elite scorers, so we were really locked in on those two, kind of pinching around them, helping around them, and I thought our girls did a great job with that and kind of shutting them down.
Coach, how much do you think the carryover from winning that county championship probably helped your girls from a confidence standpoint? It seems like your girls obviously were, at the end of that county championship, they were clicking on all cylinders. Like I said in that previous interview, they were smiling. It seemed like they were kind of gelling at the right time, so to speak. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I thought we played really well. I do think there was a little bit, and Coach Davison and Coach Van Meer and I have all talked about this, there's that county hangover. And I think we talked about that in our last one. There are so many emotions, and I know our girls physically, emotionally, mentally put so much into that. I wasn't super happy with our prep going into the area championship, but I think the girls know that, and their group text has been hitting like, hey, we can't do that. We got to be really locked in because we had a very slow start last night. But again, that resiliency I was really proud of because even with that slow start, the struggles in shooting, we just kind of kept clicking and kept clicking. And I thought, especially in the second half, we really opened it up and started moving the ball a little quicker, with a little bit more confidence. And I thought we didn't just depend on Bree to handle the ball. We had several that were hitting key pass-aheads that got us some easy looks.
How's your mindset heading into this sub-regional? Do you know who you're playing yet?
We do. So Gadsden City actually upset Fort Payne last night at Fort Payne.
That's right. So
Fort Payne had actually swept the regular season, but then Gadsden City went into Fort Payne and beat them by 10. So kind of a good lesson too, hey, you can't take anything for granted. Doesn't matter that, it's your home court. You've got to bring your best every night. So we will play Fort Payne this Friday here at 6 o'clock. Fort Payne's got a stellar record. They can really shoot the ball. So it's going to definitely be a big challenge.
I watched them play. I've seen them play twice now. They do. They move the ball well. They can shoot it. They defend pretty well. What have you seen that's kind of stuck out to you when you watch film on them?
I would say their pace, especially their offensive pace. They do a great job pushing the ball, and then they get into their sets and get their sets going extremely quickly. I think they do a great job of executing their sets and getting the shots that they want, and I feel like they always make that extra pass, which that challenges defenses, and I love defense. So we've got to be really locked in with who is where and where our assignments are, and really working as a unit to not give them those open looks.
The brand of basketball up there on that mountain, we call it mountain basketball.
Yeah.
All the teams pass well, they defend well, they do a lot of the fundamentals
extremely
correctly. I know you've probably talked to your team about that, but you guys do a lot of stuff really well as well. And I noticed one thing you guys do, when you guys are clicking defensively, you guys are hard to score on. Can you talk about that a little bit, just from a defensive standpoint, how you'll probably take your young ladies over anybody's when you go to battle?
And like we talked about before, I love defense. We spend quite a bit of time on defense. Last night we were able to lean on our defense and actually told the girls that, offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships. And I said, y'all, on a night we didn't shoot well, we were able to lean on our defense. I haven't gotten our stat report back yet, but in the first quarter, I think we only had 2 points that weren't turnovers from our press. So being able to lean on that press, being able to lean on our defense, holding a Shades Valley that has two good scorers to 29 points, we've been holding our opponents to low scoring averages. So that's something, even if you are struggling offensively, that's something that we need to be able to hang our hat on as defense.
A couple more questions. I'll get you out of here, Coach, because I know you got practice coming up. What is your focus personally, things that you've seen in this last game, things that you've seen over the last week preparing, that you're like, hey, man, we got to tighten this up. We got to get this fixed before we take on Fort Payne?
I would say just awareness of situations. Before the area championship, we worked on several different situations. I think that was really helpful for our young ones. I think there was some frustrations there, just kind of trying to expand that basketball IQ, why this isn't a good shot, why we shouldn't rush this, things like that. Even free throws with 8 seconds left, what are we going to do? And kind of letting them hash it out more, because I gave them the example, when we were at JSU, y'all can't hear me.
Right.
And so, y'all have to be able to communicate better on the floor together. So I think that's a big one, especially when you do have a lot more youth playing. But being on that same page, I thought last night McKinley Mosley kind of grew up even in that game. Because late third, early fourth, we were still making some kind of rushed passes, rushed looks. We stayed on it, hey man, pull that back out. Like if you don't have a good shot, if you're 1-on-4, that's not a good shot. And I think she did a much better job through the fourth quarter of that kind of clicking, and her seeing it live, I'm hoping really helped her and got her some growth.
Sort of slow it down, make it more sense to her. And then before I let you out here, just final thoughts can be anything.
Go Big Go. We're ready to go. I think our girls are really locked in. We really want to make a push, but it's going to be a big challenge Friday night. Fort Payne is extremely well coached, like you said. They're extremely fundamental. They're hard to get to make mistakes. So we've got to, defensively speaking, we've got to really impose our will, and we've got to be clicking together because they are exceptionally good at finding your weakness or finding that opening.
That's it. That's what you want, though. You want to face the best
Absolutely.
to keep moving on.
Absolutely.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
All right.